Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Not Content Podcast. My name is Jerome Q. Joined as always by my colleague Brian. Here tonight, we are going to be discussing 1986's Stand By Me as we continue our look and pay tribute to Rob Reiner. Please leave a 4 or 5 star review on Apple and Spotify to get those algorithms going. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Click the bell icon for notifications. Brian, I got a text message from my friend on Friday saying that Ric Flair had tweeted something about Ricky Steamboat, and I was like, God damn it, are we gonna have to do a tribute to Ricky Steamboat on this episode of all episodes where the whole premise is of finding a dead body? But apparently Ric Flair is just being a weirdo, and Ricky Steamboat is still thankfully with us. Did you see that?
I saw that. I think he just like worded it like he just wanted to honor his friend, but people took it out of context, thinking that he was dead. And even though he didn't mention the words "dead," uh, "dying," or "passed away," so I think people kind of just ran away with it. Like it's cool
Maybe
he's
don't
honoring
post
his
an AI
friend.
pic. Maybe don't post an AI picture. That doesn't help.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't even know if Flair knows the difference at this point. I think he's just kind of like humbling. He's just walking around, getting through life, honoring his
Bumbling
dead
around is
friends,
more
and
like
ones
it.
that, yeah, bumbling around. Listen, Steamboat's fine. He's fine. He's fine. In terms of dead bodies, though, man, Jesus Christ, this movie. I know it's not horror, and I mentioned this before, but God damn it, there's something like deeply scary about this movie. I don't know what it is, just the fact that like these
I
kids are
mean,
obsessed with the
it's.
dead body, the fact that the dead body's been sitting there, the fact that like it's Castle Rock and there could be evil intentions behind the gangster kids that Kiefer Sutherland plays, because very similar tone to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're playing these
I mean,
tones here.
I think that's part of it. Here's what I would say. I think the reason that you associate it with it, the TV movie for it, comes out a few years later and clearly steals a lot of the motifs of this movie. Some of the same, songs are played. It feels like some of the same cast, even though it isn't. Like it's of that same generation or a similar generation. So I think that's a lot of why you're feeling that way about this. I also think there's the Rob Reiner of it all. Like this is the first time that we've watched this movie since his death, so that plays a huge role. And the River Phoenix part, like you cannot watch this movie with the understanding of what happens to his character, and not also understand that River Phoenix died tragically. Like that is the darkness of this movie as well.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I was also watching Parenthood as well. We might talk about that in a future episode, but man, that's a Ron Howard movie, but it's Joaquin Phoenix, and there's a devastating scene in that movie where he's just crying, and you're crying too. And I can't help but think like the Phoenix brothers, dude, are probably the two greatest child actors of all time. I think. Like, if you want to say Shirley Temple or something like that, that's fine. But like, I've just seen two performances by two child actors, two brothers that totally are like legendary performances that deserve Oscars that were overlooked. But man, like it's clear that these guys, I mean, if River Phoenix was still alive, these two would be competing with each other, I think, in the same category almost every other year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't believe like he died so young and this
I
movie just kind
mean,
of like it's the Dark
listen,
Knight effect with this movie. You know what I mean? And it's
it's
like
I
almost
mean
like
that's a huge part of it. Like there
yeah.
is that hanging tragedy, but like for me, the other thing about it is like if you think about The Last Crusade, he's in the movie for 12 minutes, but like the most iconic shot of that movie is the transition from him into Harrison Ford. Like you can't get any more clear about what your intentions are at that point. And I don't know, like, were they planning on doing a young Indiana Jones with him and he died, or whatever happened? But like you cannot watch that moment and think, wow, this guy is going to be the biggest star in Hollywood for a solid 10 years. Like he is going to have what Leonardo DiCaprio's career was essentially. And because of drugs, he's no longer with us. But I mean, you look at this movie, I think his performance is easily the strongest. Will Wheaton is somebody anybody who has watched Star Trek the Next Generation, I'm sure has a very mixed feeling about him. And I know that you are a huge fan of Ready Player One, so I don't know if his narration of that influences you. I think Will Wheaton is perfectly solid in this movie, but man, like you just watch River Phoenix and You see the talent; it's all there.
And listen, we know this movie has influenced other movies, like obviously The Goonies, obviously Monster Squad. But I couldn't help but think like maybe like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon watched this movie, saw the scene in the middle about you need to get out of town, you don't belong here, you're smarter than us, you need to get out and go beyond this town. He gives them the
I
whole
mean,
like speech that Affleck gives fucking Matt Damon in Good
that's
Will
a trope,
Hunting.
though. I think that's something that
I don't know if it's a trope because like the
I think it
first time
is.
I've seen that was in Good Will Hunting, and I feel like
I'm
I've only
sure
seen
if
that
we
once or
sat down,
twice.
I'm sure if we sat down, we could find it. So I don't necessarily.
I don't know, man, because it was just like, man, like this is so Good Will Hunting right now. It's almost like beat for beat the speech at
I
the end,
I think I think that it is a trope of you
but
watch
in
the
like
end
a
of the
good way,
football
I
time.
guess, because like both teams are great. You know what I'm
I mean, it's
saying?
a
Like,
trope for a reason. Like it works. I mean, if River Phoenix is delivering your dialogue, it's going to work. If Ben Affleck is delivering the dialogue to Matt Damon, it's going to work. I mean, I'm not saying trope in a bad way.
and
I
I
don't
would
think it's
say that
overdone.
Stand by Me did it better, to be honest. I think because that really felt like
I
from
think
the
this movie
heart.
is really underrated. I really do. I think this movie I actually think plays better now probably than it did in 1986, and it did very well in 1986. But I mean, again, the River Phoenix of it all, just this idealized love of his brother as well. Like I love just how idyllic it is, like almost to the point of being dreamlike and unbelievable. And I don't know if their relationship was actually like that, but I really appreciate that dreamlike quality. I think this is a great hangout movie as well. I think that's part of what makes it work so well is that it's just about the kids hanging out. Like the goal is to get to the dead body, but like it's about their relationship. It's like, you're having this immaculate summer, right? And you're just hanging out with your friends and I mean, there's something like you've heard the term latchkey kids, right?
Oh, I was in Latchkey, but I wasn't like a Latchkey kid. But we had Latchkey in public school. But yeah, yeah, totally.
I mean, a latchkey kid is basically somebody who it's like they can go and do whatever the hell they want as long as they're like right? So there's no like helicopter
Yeah, I mean,
parenting.
for us, it was like the after school program, but we were very just like do whatever you want, just don't get in trouble and have a snack later. You know what I mean? Until your parents pick you up at 5. You know what I mean? Like that was
I
us.
mean, and I feel like you and I are probably like we definitely were part of that. But now obviously kids are so much more managed and there's good reasons and there's bad reasons for that. But these kids, I mean, they get to they travel many miles to get to this body and they're dealing with bullies and they're dealing with dogs and they're running across a train track and like they're just having an adventure. And unlike like the Goonies is a movie that I'm very mixed on. I think that came across when we talked about it last June. I think this is kind of a pure version of it because it's not as goofy and it's not as zany. It is much more true to life and much more grounded, and I think that's what I love about it. And I love chunky Jerry O'Connell as well. Um, like I get losing weight and stuff, but he's adorable in this movie. I really think that.
Yeah, man. I remember, was it 13 years ago now? I him and Rebecca Romaine, I was able to bag their groceries. I think it was like Memorial Day weekend or something. We were just kind of chatting it up, just like, oh my God, this is like the dude from Stand By Me. Well, I was also thinking like the guy from Sliders as well, even though I didn't really watch Sliders, but like I was like, it's the dude from Sliders and it's Mystique.
Oddly enough,
But
that's probably what he's most associated with. And somebody said he should have been the adult in it too, and I agree because that actor was not good.
oh, that would have been interesting, but
Yeah,
eh,
I did not like his
not
performance. I
as
mean,
high
the whole movie is
profile.
kind
I
of
get it, but he's God. He looks great now. He looks like a model. But that was again 10 years ago when I saw him. But he looked like a model then, even in his 40s.
also a really good Superman in the in a couple of the animated movies. Like he does a really good job.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He's really underrated. He's really underrated. He's great in this. I think all the kid actors are great in this. This is probably
Honestly,
Corey
Rebecca
Feldman's
Romaine
best.
is pretty underrated. Like it's funny that they're both underrated.
Yeah, and an underrated couple because I think they're still together. To be honest, if I'm not just
Good,
assuming
I
that,
say
but
good for them. Rebecca Romaine,
yeah,
all I'm gonna say is then, now, forever, and you know what I mean when you say
get
that.
that paycheck. Get that paycheck, Rebecca, because I want to see a big pop when I see you on the screen in December. Wink, wink.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, it's gonna be a moment.
it
But
is
yeah,
going
I
to be
just think
for
all
certain
the kid
generations.
actors are great in this. Kiefer Sutherland is great in this. You know what I mean? Even that dad, that
Kiefer Sutherland,
stereotypical.
it's funny because there's like a lot of stuff being said about him and his drunken behavior, and it just never ends. And I watch this movie and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if he's acting or
Very much the Oliver Reed of America, right? Like, if you understand that
not.
reference, do you understand? It's a deep
Yes,
reference, folks. Oliver
I
Reed is a
do,
British actor that was always drunk, but he was a great actor. But you can tell he was drunk on screen.
and
That's
it's
kind of Kiefer
funny because
Sutherland.
people are like, well, why isn't he in the Hunger Games? I'm like, I can tell you why he's not in the Hunger Games because they don't want to deal. They already
Yeah,
had they already had
yeah.
to deal with
It
Filipino
seems like
officers.
only ABC and Fox are willing to deal with him on a long term basis. If you're going to mark him as like the star of your show, and you just have to deal with it, but he does
It's
draw in
weird. Yeah,
ratings. He does
it's.
draw in the ratings. So,
I mean,
but in
24 was a
this, it's
very
like,
successful
yeah,
show.
and it looks
I
like
mean,
he was like,
he was a good actor. Like that's the thing is he was a very good
yeah,
actor. There's
and
so
it
much.
looks like he was going to do Lost Boys right after this or before this because he's got the same hair. So I just love that look of his. Like that's one of my all-time favorite bully looks of him is that blonde, right? Either as the vampire or either as the bad guy in Stand By Me.
It is a very good way of separating himself from his father. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it's I guess it's that old school Southern heel approach, right? You want to make him a blonde, right? Just in case he bleeds. You know what I mean? He almost bled because he almost got shot, but that was a great line. Like, you're gonna shoot everyone else? No, just you, bro. I thought that was hardcore, and I thought that was a good line to like stand up to a bully, man. Even though it's gun violence, which I don't recommend and don't condone, but the 50s, I guess. What are you gonna do? There's no like safes for guns, apparently. You know what I mean? But yeah, but anyway, this is definitely Corey Feldman's best performance ever, right? Like that's hands down.
I think he's really good in this movie. I think that I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of, like because we just talked about him, and the thing about Corey Feldman is he is never going to be the type of person you would cast as the lead in your movie, but he is the type of person that you cast him for spice, right? I think that's the Burbs is not a movie that I like that much, but I think he really added something to it, and I feel the same way here. Like if he plays River Phoenix's role, I don't think this movie is very good at all, but he is perfectly cast as like one of the side kids. Like they give him just enough emotional impact that I think it works out really well.
Yeah, and like this is probably my favorite performance of his, like this and Friday the 13th Part 4, which is like a personal fan favorite of mine, but like this is something like I don't know what it is, but Rob Reiner just brought it out of these kids, and so, it felt like almost he just put the camera down and just put the camera on the tripod and just let him act the old Kevin Smith method, and they just, you know what I mean, and they just
Oh
knocked
man,
it
you
out of the
really went
park.
there, didn't you?
Well, I mean, that's the Kevin. I mean, it's the name that I think of, like in terms of like camera, just putting the camera there and just let like scenes flow without moving the camera for minutes on end. And you got a little bit of that here with the dialogue and the interpersonal connections between Chris and Will Wheaton. And I'm a fan of Will Wheaton on Star Trek. I know people are a mixed bag, right?
I
But
cannot stand him on that show.
I
It is
get it, man. I get it. He's a smart ass. He's I don't know. I don't know if it's white privilege. Maybe I
there
don't
was
know.
there was a moment somebody recently posted this of him speaking and Picard saying "Shut up, Wesley," and I watched it like 6 times because Picard hates him so much.
Was that the episode that his friend accidentally got killed in that
I don't
Starfleet?
remember which episode it is
You know
specifically,
what I
but
mean? There was that one where they were on the
I
ships and one of them died.
I
Yeah,
also love that Picard hates kids. That is also
that's why
one of
he
my
doesn't
favorite
have any,
details.
dude. That's why he's
Oh,
like,
it's great. I love it. I love it so
yeah,
much.
he's like that. He's like my uncle, like that one uncle you have in every family that just like never gets married. That's him, dude, and that's
And in
Picard,
most cases, they probably should.
right? But yeah, I think this is like the best I've seen Will Wheaton like ever. Like I've only seen him in obviously Star Trek and clips of like what's that
He
show?
doesn't. I mean,
Big Bang
he's
Theory?
done Big Bang Theory. He doesn't really do a lot of acting anymore. Like I know he
I
is
guess he's
known for
just a
being like
con
a
guy, and by a con guy, I mean
personality.
just yeah, to go to the cons a lot
I mean,
and make that
you
money.
could do a lot worse, right? You could do a lot worse
Yeah,
than
but he seems like he's a guy that's going to be busy almost every weekend the rest of his life if he goes to all these cons around the United States. You know what I mean? Like he could probably do good in terms of like the
yeah. I mean,
autograph kind of stuff.
I think he does a really good job in this in.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like I think the thing that you realize about Rob Reiner is he is a master at casting, right? Like you look at his movies and he just nails it every single time, especially when he's clicking, right? Like I
I
think
would agree
about
on that. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we had that same thing with Princess Bride. Every role was pretty much casted perfectly in terms of what you needed.
Like, I mean,
And
John Cusack.
yeah,
I mean, John Cusack is in the movie for like 5 minutes, but I mean, he's perfectly cast as the brother.
yeah, and then he doesn't get like too like Better Off Dead version of John Cusack, or you know what I mean, or the Say Anything version where he's like that weird kid, but instead he's like the cool brother kid, which is a nice
Yeah,
change of pace.
which is
Because
weird because he almost never plays the cool guy in any movie.
right, or the guy that went and well, he didn't die in the army, right? He died in a Jeep accident, right? It wasn't like he went to
Yeah,
Nam or anything.
right.
So so that's the
I
thing.
mean, this
Like
is
I
the
kind of
19,
confuse
this is
that
the
sometimes.
50s. This isn't even the 60s, so that's
Yeah,
really
yeah, they
bad.
haven't even reached Vietnam yet. So yeah, it's tragic because that dad, I don't know the name of that actor, but we've seen him in so many different things. Like he's like that military type dad. But man,
Yeah,
he's so
he's
like
definitely
stone cold and like I don't know if he really doesn't love his son or wishes that, the brothers were
I'm
swapped.
really glad that this movie is an hour and 26 minutes and we basically only get one scene with him because it would not have worked if he was in any more of the movie.
I don't know if we I don't know if it's a good thing we don't get the resolution. Maybe that's kind of like the message because like
I think that is
I
the
know
message.
because
Like
like I know
that relationship is not, it's about the kids. And
right.
any minute that you're spending away from the kids is a minute that you're probably wasting because again, this is a movie that is very, very tight. And that's the other thing that I really like about Rob Reiner's movies is that he's not somebody who indulges himself. He is somebody who is happy to make a movie that's 90 minutes and understands that sometimes a 90-minute movie is better than a 1 hour and 45-minute movie. I think this is a worse movie if it's 20 minutes longer. I think it's perfect. It leaves you wanting more, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, I just kind of wish that we had some kind of resolution because it just feels like so stone cold for the dad and Will Wheaton for that. I mean, that relationship, but like, I guess that's the message because I know, like, I have a strained relationship with my father, and I haven't talked to him in years, so I know that feeling, right, of having that strained relationship. So I don't know if that's the message saying even until our death, when we get old, like we may still have these feelings for our parents, right, and it may never be resolved. So maybe that's the message in
I
the intent of
mean,
that.
and I think that's, I mean, not to put my therapist down, but sometimes I think closure is more important than resolution. If you have closure, I think that matters.
True that. True that. And this is not the therapy pod, but we're just the kind of folks that kind of see characters like that and kind of see the what's going to happen in the off screen. You know what I mean? In terms of their
Speaking of
future.
complicated, Richard Dreyfuss, he's great in this movie. He is an outstanding choice for narrator. But boy, oh boy, I read about some of the stuff he does and says, and I am very unimpressed. That is
He
probably
is
putting it mildly.
very, 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 very old school, where he just doesn't want to learn anymore. I don't know. He's a CSUN alum, so you'd think he'd be smarter than that, but I don't know. He did come from a CSUN era, which is like very 60s, very different time. I don't know. But yeah, he's very good in this. I just kind of thought it was weird that, like, in terms of casting, like that's what you thought Will Wheaton was going to look like when he grew up. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things that always throws me off.
Yeah,
But like I love the voice, but it's like, is he really going to look
yeah,
like that when he gets older? Because Will Wheaton now looks nothing like Richard Dreyfuss, and he seems to have aged better in terms of like youthfulness. So I don't know, man. But
yes.
every time I see that as we get older, it just seems funny to me. And then, of course, the little meta commentary about Stephen King's endings. I don't know how he felt about that, but I know it was a shot at him.
I
But
love that it was a joke in 1986, and you can still make the joke in
I
2026.
know it's the crazy thing about it is like it's one of those long-standing jokes of the film that has become so meta to the point where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like the
It's not
source of
even
it. I
meta
don't know if it's the
anymore.
source
It's
of it,
just
but man, just hilarious how they just complain about because the idea is Will Wheaton wants to be a writer, of course, because every Stephen King thing has a writer in it, right? And
right.
then and then he's telling this story about the pie, which I think is kind of iffy anyway, because I think it's kind of a waste of time. Because I think you can just tell it in one 30-second thing and just not even show it, but they showed it anyway.
I
And,
I think that the magic of the movie is showing it and putting, because you're talking about a movie that is, movies of visual mediums. I actually think showing it makes sense, especially because there's puking involved, and I think that makes it funny. So I think it actually.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of puke jokes in general. I'm not like a Vince McMahon type. You
I
know
mean,
what
but the
I
thing
mean?
is like it's not
But I
puke.
get it. I get it.
Like
I get it.
the characters aren't puking. It's the story within the
I
story
get you.
that's
It's just
puking.
that visual has always like haunted me in terms of blueberry pie. Like I don't know. I've never had
So
blueberry
you
pie
don't like
since
the
I've seen this
Family Guy
movie.
puking scene either?
Oh, I don't really like those either. I don't.
That's
Look, man.
weird.
It's not that like I'm not anti-puke scenes. I think it just they stretch them out too long, and then it just becomes so annoying,
Have
right?
you ever seen the movie Triangle of Sadness?
No, I haven't. But is there something gross like? Oh, okay, never mind, never mind. Look, I saw the latest Sam Raimi movie, Send Help, and that had a similar scene, but that didn't go too long. It just went and then it was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like the yellow stuff. But you know what I
Haven't you
mean?
heard the
Like
word about comedy that you do it so long it stops becoming funny, and then you do it
oh,
even
I've
longer to make it
heard the
funny
wrestling
again?
version too. I've heard the wrestling version where you do the turnbuckle spot, head to the turnbuckle 10 times, and then if you do it 20 times, the audience is going to get tired. But if you do it 30 times, the audience is going to come back by the end of it and just start counting again. You know what I mean? Like that's the equivalent I think of. But anyway, yeah, meta commentary, Stephen King endings.
Yes.
We know the score. It's relevant today. Um, yeah, but in terms of this movie, it actually has a good ending, I think. So,
I
and
think it's
that's
a
probably.
perfectly satisfactory ending for a movie of this type. Yeah,
But
I
is it
think.
because this was a novella and this wasn't like a full 600-page book
I
that
mean,
Stephen
I
King
look
can
at
indulge
Stephen
himself
King's
in?
movies. I look at Stephen King's movies and shows, and I think the two best adaptations that he's ever had are this and Shawshank. And Shawshank is also a novella. I don't think that is a coincidence. I think when,
That's what I'm
especially with
thinking.
these
I
epic,
think he
I mean,
thinks.
especially with his epic books, they tend to have very weak parts or weak movies or weak shows, but his novellas, I think, lead to better movies.
I think that's what I'm noticing too. Carrie was not a novella, right? That was a full book because that might be the only one that might
I
have the
don't know.
best ending of the ones that were adapted from books. Is what I'm saying. Because like to me, that's still like a great ending, even though like she kills all her friends and you got the fake out at the end. But I don't know. I thought that was an effective
Sleep
ending.
has a. I would argue that one of the strengths of Doctor Sleep is that it does have a really good ending, and I'm talking about the book ending of Doctor Sleep and the movie ending of Doctor Sleep.
Oh, I see. I've never read like the books, but I know Doctor Sleep was like written by King as like probably like a way to kind of I don't know, I wouldn't say retcon the movie.
It is a sequel to the book, and Doctor Sleep the movie. Part of what makes Mike Flanagan so good is that the magic of the movie is that it is both a sequel to the Shining movie and somehow a sequel to the Shining book, even though the ending to the Shining book is different from the ending of the Shining movie.
Okay, that's kind of my understanding about that. And that's what actually just ties to Ready Player One, which I just watched again, which we talked about. So it's all
Uh,
coming full circle, people.
a movie that you inexplicably like.
Oh man, I watched that again, Jerome, and I sat for 2 hours straight from like 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. and I couldn't stop smiling. I don't know what it is
You,
about that movie, Jerome.
you can't see me when I'm shaking my head right now in the most vociferous of
And then I
ways.
couldn't help but think of all the stuff that Endgame ripped off in terms of the final battle stuff. But that we can discuss that later. We can discuss that later.
We will never discuss that movie. Guarantee.
Okay, it's
I
okay.
will quit. We do unless we do
You're
a
one of
fourth
those
of some
people. You're
sort.
one of those people. I know. There's a
I
strong hate
think
for
the
that
movie
movie,
is
but
really terrible, and I think Spielberg, if
it
Spielberg
could
hadn't
be.
built up
At
all
least
the,
it's not pixels. At least it's not pixels. So
I think I would rather watch Pixels than Ready Player One. There you go. There
bam.
you go.
There's a statement. There's a
I hate
statement.
that movie with the fire passion of a thousand suns. All right.
Nine
So
out of
that,
10. 9 out of
that
10 for me on this
I
one.
give this an 8 out of 10. I think this is a really good adaptation. Um, I don't know what it would take for this to be like a 9 or 10. I just think it's a really good movie. I don't know that it could, in my mind, how it could get any better. I don't know. I guess it has a ceiling, but I would watch this. I would definitely watch this over movies that are 3 hours because it's so short. It is incredibly rewatchable, and I think that's the magic of it as well.
And the fact that because of that, it's always played on TV every year. Um, and it just fits that time slot perfectly because of
Especially now.
the runtime. So
Our Richard Dreyfuss conversation also put me down the wormhole. We need to discuss Mr. Holland's Opus at some point. I don't know when, but it
Oh
will
man, that
happen at
movie
some
was
point.
like boring when I watched that as a kid with my parents. But if you insist, man,
At
if
some
you
point,
insist,
I don't know. At some point, we will. You watch it
you
when you
want to
were a
do,
kid. Maybe your perspective
maybe
will
it'll
be
hit different.
different as an
Yeah,
adult.
I maybe we do a teacher month, and you could do like kind of have this like therapeutic month of like just getting your shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Dangerous Minds, Mr. Holland's opus.
To Sir with
To very,
Love.
oh man,
That's a
and
deep cut.
I gotta sit and think about what's the one with Edward James Olmos and South Park parodied.
Oh yeah, Lean on Me. Not Stand by Me. I mean, Lean on Me. It's the one that
Uh,
sounds like Stand by Me.
well, Dead
So
Poet Society. Dead Poet Society also has to be on the list. We'll figure this out. It's gonna happen.
it sounds like you are excited about this idea, and I'm glad I accepted it into you.
Yes, you did incept it. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of which one. So, but that is Stand by Me. A very good movie. It is on Netflix. Definitely give it a watch if you have not done so. You should watch it again, even if you haven't watched it in a while, because I remember watching it. This is like 2 days after his death, and I was like, "This movie still rips, man. Still rips." So next week we are going to continue our run of Rob Reiner movies. The Tuesday after Valentine's Day, we'll be talking about one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan in When Harry Met Sally. And Brian, before you give your thoughts on this movie, I just want to tell you the Oscars will be doing a tribute to Rob Reiner, and it will be done by Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. And I am already getting my tissues ready because there will not be a dry eye in the house.
Well, it's going to be emotional, but it's also the fact that Billy Crystal's coming back to the Oscars. So, anytime that happens, there's usually good stuff. But we'll see. We'll see if this generation connects with him and doesn't have this giant backlash um, Bob Costas in the MLB playoffs, like that reaction. Hopefully, that doesn't happen because this generation scares me sometimes because God knows I was shocked with that Bob Costas reaction. So here's hoping to Billy Crystal.
I mean, what he
And
said about the Cubs players dead or somebody dying, like that was a little weird.
yeah, I know, but I do like the fact that Billy Crystal took that picture a few years ago. I don't know if you saw it, where he got the same sweater from the movie, and I was like,
Yes,
"Good
I
for
did see
you,
that.
guy," because I'm pretty sure he saved that. You take that home. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
I know he
that's
lost a lot
iconic
to wildfires. He has had a rough year for sure.
for sure. Yeah, and well, I mean, he's a Yankees fan, and that didn't help when they lost to Cleveland
And he's
either.
a Clippers
Or not the
fan.
Cleveland, the Blue Jays.
He's a
Oh, he's a
Clippers
Clippers
fan
fan
too.
too. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. Sorry, man. The Clippers are not. They're out of it now, dude. Sorry.
it's really weird. Like all of the celebrities are Lakers fans except for him.
Yeah, that's been that story. And then of course, well, that's a whole other story with the Clippers. It's like this whole other subset of fans in LA that are kind of like anti-Laker. Wasn't Penny Marshall one of them? I think, or someone. I don't know.
Maybe that's
Uh,
really funny though.
yeah. And then well, we'll announce in a couple weeks, but we're kind of planning something to honor Catherine O'Hara, and I guess Christopher Guest as well because they're tied together, and that's kind of a tease of what's to come.
Yep,
A little bit
it's
of
gonna
Eugene
happen at
Levy.
some point. We'll get into the details soon.
Yeah.
But next week is When Harry Met Sally. For Brian, I'm Jerome. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.